3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So, clearly I don't have my makeup or wig on because I just got out of the shower, but I feel like now is good time as any to read another chapter of some sexy story time. I don't know, this is my angle. It might be like really unflattering. I don't know. But I'm just gonna go with it. I think it's kind of funny. Stop it, baby. Okay. Where was I? I was on Ellen's chapter. Where's Ellen? Hope my mom doesn't walk in on me or I'm gonna fucking die 1,000 deaths. Okay. Here we go, chapter 15, Ellen. Haley headed across the desert for Building 3 of Outer Heaven, determined to let nothing stand in his way. He had to rescue Dr. Petovich and his daughter and destroy Metal Gear before the evil weapon could be put into use against the nations of democracy. No more Mr. Nice Guy. California Taffy was asking for it now. There were trucks parked in front of the building's side entrance, but a few mines took them out. Within seconds, he was in the building and using keycard 7 to get the elevator working. On the second floor, the rooms were opened by keycard 5. Solid Snake let himself into one of the rooms and saw nothing. The room appeared to be entirely empty, and yet Haley felt a prickle along his skin. His trained instincts were telling him that something was here, something of vital importance. This happened already before. Maybe he has a little bit of the psychic, you know? He went to the far wall and ran his fingers along the rough stone. It felt solid. It looked solid. And yet the tips of Solid Snake's fingers touched a line, running like a crack in the stone from ceiling to the floor. He pressed hard, harder. The crack widened, and a secret compartment in the wall opened up. A figure was stuffed into the secret compartment, which was barely large enough to hold it. It was a girl, bound and gagged and unconscious. Oh god. Solid Snake took the choking gag off and revived the girl gently. But when she saw the terrorist uniform that Haley was wearing, she began to scream. Oh god, Ellen. The poor girl was obviously terrified. It's alright, Haley said Haley, and put his hand firmly back over her mouth. Okay, Lenny. I'm not one of California Taffy's men. I'm Captain Haley of the Snake Men Squad. I'll take my hand away if you promise not to scream. This bitch. Oh, God. The girl nodded and mumbled something. It was probably "you bitch" or something like that. Carefully, Solid Snake took his hand away. Are you alright? He asked her in a low voice. The girl nodded. I'm okay. I shouldn't give her that voice. She whispered back. Are you Ellen, Dr. Petovich's daughter? Yes, I am. Have you found my father? The girl cried eagerly. Oh, she's crying, I guess. Not yet, but soon, I promise. Both of you will go home safely. Solid Snake looked at her face carefully. She looked tired and probably hungry, but didn't seem to have been hurt. I'm gonna untie you now and take you somewhere to hide. I think you'll be safe until I come back for you. Try to hang in there. I'll try, but I'm worried about my father, said the girl urgently. Not as worried as I am, said Solid Snake to himself. I'm gonna get word to him that you're alive, so don't worry anymore. Yeah, don't worry, it's cool. Stay as quiet as you can and leave everything to me. I'll see to it that both of you get out of here safe and sound. Put your arm around my neck and lean on me. I'm not gonna read that next part. It's just too much. Is this girl supposed to be, like, a kid? Or is she supposed to be, like, in her 20s? Maybe she's supposed to be a kid. I didn't really think about that. Haley left the girl in another room, making a mental note of which door she was behind. Then he set off down the corridor. He was convinced that both Dr. Petovich and Metal Gear were somewhere here in Building 3. Was there a basement in this building? He should check that out without delay. Oh, that was a short chapter. It's only like 3 pages. Neither the east nor the west elevator had a button for the basement. But that meant there could be stairs hidden somewhere. If only he could find them. Maybe he could get some advice from Control. He spun the tuning dial on the radio. Solid Snake. Boss man here. It was Diana, transmitting on the frequency assigned to her by Commander South. Justin heard the faint radio signal and he recognized Diana's voice, but he paid no attention to the transmission. Haley realized now that Diana's signals had been misleading him all along. How'd he fucking figure that shit out? He only talked to her like twice, and she didn't say a damn thing. Nan Jennifer was really his Control, a true freedom fighter. Even though I know in the game that's that bitch that won't even talk to you if you don't have enough stars or whatever. The only thing Solid Snake didn't know was how much damage Diana might already have done. Game hint. Be sure to knock out all the guards before you enter the heat panels. I thought it was like electric floor or whatever. Eat your rations midway through. Okay, that chapter sucked, but it was really short and it was not sexy, so let's go on to chapter 16, which is the map. Solid Snake found himself facing 3 doors, again, like a game show. At first, he decided on the left-hand room, but as he approached it, all his psychic instincts triggered a warning. Don't go in there! He changed his mind for the right-hand door instead, and keycard 7 opened it. You know, they say if you have a choice of 3, I forgot, like, it's like some mathematical thing or something, where if you have a choice of 3 things, like, okay, it's like this thing, like, I always forget exactly how it goes, but basically I think it's like, it's based on this old-ass game show, and, like, you, there's, like, 3 doors, and they have, one of them has a prize, and the other 2 have, like, some shit or whatever. Or, like, just to say one of them has a prize, okay? So, you want to get the prize, but it's all guessing, right? So, if you choose one door, and then they say, do you want to keep that door, or do you want to switch your guess to a different door? Then you're, like, if you switch your guess, somehow it gives you higher odds of winning. I'm not totally sure how it works, but it's something like, I don't know. It's something. Look it up, though. It's kind of interesting. Like, if you look it up, they break it down for you, why it increases your odds, but, yeah, it's, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, where was I? I'm getting all off track, because that child threw off all my sexiness. Haley expected to find a small room, but instead the door opened into a vast, well-lit area with locked doors running along the sides of the 4 walls. Suddenly, from his transceiver came Jennifer's voice. Be careful not to kill him. He's my brother. If anything happens to my brother, I'm gonna kick your ass. She didn't say that. She said I can't help you anymore, but I'm taking my own liberties with this. Her brother? Jennifer had a brother here in outer heaven? But why was she mentioning it now? The room seemed empty. Haley turned to the first locked door on his left, using keycard 7. Solid Snake opened the door. Three snake men prisoners were inside, in a tiny room. The man in the middle was sitting bound but not gagged. That man was Bob O'Reilly, like the song, Eagle Man. Justin Haley's best friend in the Snake Man squad. Oh, man. When he saw his friend, Solid Snake broke into a wide grin and started towards him, but Eagle Man cried out to him in an agonized voice, "No! Solid Snake, don't take another step towards me. I've been booby-trapped, rigged to plastic explosives." Oh, shit. I don't know where the detonator is. We'll all be blown sky high if you lay a finger on me. Listen to me, Justin. I am Jennifer's brother. My life is not important. Only the destruction of Metal Gear is important. Oh, what a babe. You're very close now. Oh, you're very close now. How many keycards do you have? 7, answered Haley. Good. There are 8 keycards, so we've heard. So you need only 1 more. Metal Gear is hidden in the basement of this building, and Dr. Petovich is a prisoner there. It's very near to completion. When it's complete, it will detonate a series of catastrophic explosions all over the free world. Oh, Lord. You must get hold of keycard 8. It's the only card that will unlock the basement location. Every second is precious. Go now. Bob, I can't leave you here. Oh, I don't know why I just gave him a southern accent. Bob, I can't leave you here like this, Solid Snake protested. You don't have a choice, Justin, replied Eagle Man softly. You better hurry. There was nothing for Solid Snake to do but obey. To leave Jennifer's brother, his best friend, tied up and booby-trapped. Justin left the room, but he didn't get far. The vital minutes were counting down, but Haley could not leave Eagle Man and the other 2 snake men to die. Okay, I have one more question though, like, if they're all called snake men, you would think that all their names would have something to do with snakes, but they're just all different animals. So, I don't understand why their whole entire squad is called snakes when they're just running the gamut of the zoo. But you know what else that reminds me of is in Kill Bill, because they all have the names of snakes. And you know what else is funny is that, like, in the Metal Gear, that's where it's like, there's like, what am I even trying to say? The Metal Gear where it's Snake and all those women reminds me of Kill Bill also, because, like, in that it's like 3 or 4 women and like the one dude, Michael Madsen. So basically Snake is like Michael Madsen's character, I don't remember his name, and then all the rest of them are like Naomi, Natasha, Meryl, and whatever the Asian girl's name was, I don't fucking remember. But anyway, I'm already on 14 minutes, so I better stop being annoying. What am I talking about? I never stop being annoying. Where was I? Okay, he couldn't leave Eagle Man and the other 2 Snake Men to die. It was an impossible decision for him to make. He turned back. Well, he's gonna be pissed. His friend's gonna be mad. As Haley came back into the room, he realized that already California Taffy's evil was at work. He smelled poison gas. The Snake Men were going to die. Putting his gas mask on, Solid Snake ran into the room and freed the 2 Snake Men on either side of Eagle Man, dragging them out. They were barely breathing, but still alive. Now for Eagle Man. But how to get him out of the poison gas when he was booby-trapped with explosives? In the doorway, Solid Snake watched in horror as Jennifer's brother's eyes shut and his head fell forward on his chest. The poison gas was beginning to work. Oh, so tragic. The weight of Eagle Man's sagging body pulled his chair over with him. Instinctively, Captain Haley braced himself against the imminent explosion of the booby trap. But there was no explosion, as Eagle Man had slumped forward. His fall had pulled a wire loose from the trap. The chair had disconnected the detonator. Oh my god. California Taffy, your shit is coming ghetto. Instantly, Solid Snake seized Eagle Man and half-dragged, half-carried his friend out of the gas-filled room. He tried CPR, breathing fresh air down Eagle Man's lungs. But his friend didn't respond. It looked as though Solid Snake Man were dead. Okay, whatever. But Haley wouldn't give up hope. Haley wouldn't give up hope. Remembering the little bottle of antidote, he poured some of the liquid down his friend's throat, and in less than a minute, he heard choking and gagging that told him that Eagle Man was alive. In jubilation, Solid Snake pounded Jennifer's brother happily on the back. Yeah, maybe he was slapping his back to slap that shit out of his lungs. And then that's such a bro move too. God, these guys are such bros. And then he made a discovery. Pinned to the back of Eagle Man's uniform in a mocking gesture of Colonel California Taffy's was keycard 8. The last card. The one that California Taffy had never expected anybody to find. That's a damn lie he put on the guy's back. He had thought it would be destroyed when the booby trap exploded. Okay. Haley now had the final keycard to Metal Gear. Although he held all 8 keycards and the clue from Eagle Man that Metal Gear was in the basement, Haley still didn't know exactly where to find Metal Gear. He only knew that the basement would be the most heavily guarded place in all of Outer Heaven. And first, he would have to find the stairs that led to the basement. None of the elevators were programmed to go there. If only he had more time. Justin Haley was slowed down by the equipment he was carrying. Oh god, how could I forget all that shit? But he was afraid to leave any of it behind. Man. Okay. Not knowing what he'd be up against, he didn't know which weapons would be most effective. Did he really need all 8 of his key cards? Eagle Man said that the 8th one was the key to Metal Gear. Maybe he ought to think of leaving the other 7 behind. Don't do that shit so that he wouldn't have to waste even a moment looking for keycard 8. Just put it in a different pocket from the other ones. Oh, okay. He's doing it, never mind. Looking to separate keycard 8 from the rest, Solid Snake shuffled through the keycards in his hand, and as he did so, he noticed something. For the first time, something most unusual. On the backs of the keycards were printed different pieces of the same design, like a puzzle. It actually was a puzzle, and when Haley had laid the cards out together in a certain way, he saw the design for the first time. It was the same insignia that was all over the compound, painted on the side of the trucks. The badge on the enemy uniform that Solid Snake himself was wearing, a grinning, fanged reptile, entwined around a twisted, broken tree. That's so anticlimactic. The insignia in itself... Oh, okay, there's more. The insignia in itself didn't surprise Justin Haley, but there was something more. With all the cards laid out, he noticed for the first time that the design actually incorporated a map of outer heaven. There, in the coils of solid snake, were the different buildings and levels he'd gone through. He could make out the heat panels and the underwater tunnel and the desert with the trained killer scorpions. And there, in the center of Solid Snake's eye, are they calling the snake symbol Solid Snake now? Was a very small star. Solid Snake knew at once that the star represented the weapon, Metal Gear. The rest of the map showed him exactly where in the basement to find it, and where the stairs must be leading to the basement. Committing the map to memory, Haley went in search of the stairway. According to the map, the stairway ought to be very near one of the pillars that held up the ceiling of the first level. Swiftly, Haley made his way to the pillar, but saw nothing. No sign of any stairway around it. Yet, Solid Snake was certain that he was in the right place. A sudden burst of gunfire chattered angrily past his head. Captain Haley dove for cover. There wasn't any cover, only the presence of the pillar, which he hugged with his body. It wasn't much protection, but it was all there was. The situation looked hopeless. He was right out there in the open, in the middle of a firefight, and he couldn't even see the terrorists. They were protected, shooting at him from their hiding places. All he could do was stay close to the pillar. What? Solid Snake touched something. It felt like a lock, down low, in the base of the pillar. A lock. That was it. The stairway wasn't near the pillar, it was inside the pillar. Keycard 8. He had only seconds to find it. Why hadn't he thrown the other keycards away? At last, keycard 8 was in Haley's hand. Fitting it into the slot, Haley looked up to see four guards breaking cover, racing at him with assault rifles. There wasn't a second to spare. Would keycard 8 do the trick? A click. The side of the pillar opened like a narrow door. Ooh. Solid Snake, grabbing up his gear, threw himself headlong into the opening and slammed the door behind him. He found himself falling into total darkness. So it wasn't like a fucking stairway, it was like a hole. Like a fucking pit. Okay.